This week, I fly the same plane that carries Malaysia's national football team, enjoy the infamous Japanese fruit cream sandwich, and encounter probably the best airline safety video I've ever seen. After landing into a balmy 35-degree Osaka from Hawaii with Japan Airlines, we dropped the bags and roamed the streets, headed in the direction of our favourite sushi chain, Uobe.
The things you do for sushi.
If you do have a short time in Japan, we definitely recommend this chain. Super friendly staff, beautiful little plates, prepared to order and shipped out on a conveyor belt directly to your table. You order off the iPad and it really is knockout stuff. After getting our sushi fix, we headed back to the Henna Hotel near Kansai Airport, where we were checked in by dinosaurs. No, seriously, I really mean it. We then just relaxed and got a good night's sleep, and as much as we've travelled extensively over Japan over the past few years, we always seem to forget just how small the bathrooms are over here. It always makes for an amusing shower.
Konnichiwa, and a very warm welcome from Osaka-Kansai International Airport in Japan, the airport that's famously sinking. But more on that in a brief moment. Today we're flying with Malaysia Airlines across to Kuala Lumpur on their A330 service in economy. So come with me and let's get this trip started across to Malaysia.
At the time of recording this video in August 2025, Malaysia Airlines used Terminal 1 here at Osaka-Kansai International Airport. The check-in desks are located in Zone F, and there's automated kiosks to check you in, but we'd already done this online, so just needed to drop our suitcases. It was a very efficient service and we were done and ready to go to the lounge in under 5 minutes. That's what we like to see. Security took just under 5 minutes and then we were through into the myriad of Kicks duty free, which eventually, and I mean eventually, spits you out in the centre of the airport concourse. Here there's informal seating areas and places to dine. We headed to try and find a lounge, but the central Kicks Premium and Kicks Kansai lounges are not available to Priority Pass or credit card members. We then spotted another lounge, so headed there, and yep, you guessed it, this too wasn't available to Priority Pass members. After a quick check on the app, we saw that the 3 available lounges were located in the ends of each terminal, and they required a shuttle to get you there. With us being quite tight on time, we decided to pass on this and just grab some food instead. If there's one thing Japan does well in airports, it's certainly dining options.
As you can see, it's about 8:45, 10:50, and we board in about 20 minutes, so a bit tight for us. So we decided to play a bit of Japanese sort of buffet, picnic kind of activity. So got a nice bottle of Japanese orange juice from Suntory, and of course the fruit sandwich, which I know Marks and Spencer's are doing, but you know, without getting myself into any form of possible lawsuit, I feel they may have borrowed the idea from the country of Japan. So we're going to be boarding in about 20 minutes. In economy, as you very well know, we're on row 16 A and C seats, so we've got the 2 seats near the window. We're really looking forward to getting on board, getting settled in and showing you the Malaysia Airlines service.
Osaka-Kansai International Airport has a fascinating and slightly worrying story. It's a modern engineering marvel that's also sinking. When Osaka needed more air capacity in the late 20th century, space on land was scarce. The solution? Build an entirely new airport on an artificial island in Osaka Bay. Construction began in 1987, and after 7 years of massive engineering work, Kansai opened in 1994 as the world's first offshore international airport. The island was built on soft, waterlogged clay, and engineers knew it would settle, but not quite this much. Originally, they expected about 5 to 6 metres of settlement over the airport's lifetime. In reality, it sank that much in just its first decade. To keep the runways and terminal level, engineers have continually adjusted support columns and added filled material. Today, the airport has stabilised somewhat, but it still descends by a few centimetres each year. Despite the challenges, Kansai remains one of Japan's busiest gateways and a testament to bold engineering. Its story is a reminder of the incredible lengths cities will go to meet the demands of modern air travel, sometimes literally sinking into the sea to do it. After concluding our Japanese buffet session and watching the impending storm unfold, it was time to finally board the aircraft. Flying us across to KL today is this 13-year-old Airbus A330-300, which was delivered to Malaysia Airlines in May of 2012. Shockingly for Japan, the boarding process was very chaotic. I'll talk about that shortly. And with a bit of husband economy disappointment, we were down the air bridge and ready to board this near 7-hour flight across to Malaysia. The cabin is in a 242 configuration with seats swapping between alternating reds, pinks and purples. Today we're in seats 16A and 16C. On the seat is a soft grey Malaysia Airlines branded blanket and a small travel pillow. There's a 9-inch IFE touchscreen in front of you, which in all honesty does feel a bit clunky and outdated. There's overhead reading lights and personal air vents on this A330-300, and we get 2 windows to our seat area on this row. The legroom is fairly standard, coming in at 32 inches for this particular seat. There's a drop-down tray table, a USB-A charging port, and complimentary Wi-Fi on board. I'll cover that service later. So we're all aboard this Malaysian Airlines A330 across to Kuala Lumpur. Very chaotic kind of boarding process, which is unlike Japan, but we quickly realised that group numbers mean absolutely nothing today. So we were group 5 and were amongst some of probably the first 4 or 5 people on the aircraft. They've boarded bits of economy first, business class passengers behind us. I don't know if there's a bit of a delay or they just want to get everybody on, but there was no boarding groups in play today, which is fine because we had quite a low one. So we saw the opportunity and we went for it because we were told that we could just board at our will, which was quite nice. So we're sat in seat 16A and 16C. It's about 4 rows from the front of the doors we boarded through, and the business class cabin's just ahead of us. So we should be one of the first people off the aircraft. So looking forward to this one. It's going to be a nice little jaunt over to Kuala Lumpur. Flight time a little bit longer than I anticipated, to be fair. We've just been told it's a little over the region of 6 hours plus. So and the weather outside is not good, as you can see, very glum, but it's still very hot, so I'm glad we've got those air vents above us. As we pushed back off a very rainy stand, headphones were handed out by the cabin crew, and these were the standard reusable plastic style ones. As I unwrapped them, it was time for the safety video, and nothing could have prepared me for Sata Dua Tiga Jom, which in my opinion is one of the best safety videos of all time. I really mean it. Sit back and enjoy some of the highlights.
Before this, perhaps you've noticed this is not your average briefing. Alright, dude, put your stuff away.
1, 2, 3, 4, fasten your seatbelt. Harry Mamalaya in the house. Here we go, here we go, here we go.
It's really not
the typical. Seatbelts are mystical, but since we're being careful,
Let's recap.
insert the metal tip into the buckle. Pull on the loose and tighten the strap.
If you want to take it off, lift up the thingamabob.
I think it's called a flap.
Slip the vest on past the straps round your waist. If you pull this cord, the vest will inflate. Blow into the mouthpiece for more inflation. The lighter whistle will attract attention.
That's it, okay, let's go!
Yep, watch the full version on YouTube. It's a full 7 minutes long. It's on Malaysia Airlines' channel. And then try and get that song out of your head. For now though, let's get back to the taxi as we roar into the air out of Kansai International. About 15 minutes into the climb, the cabin crew brought round a packet of salted peanuts for each passenger, and then started a drink service. Now, this wasn't a regular drink service though, you only had a choice of still water, apple juice or orange juice.
So we just finished the first meal service. Interesting selection of food actually. There was a Japanese style white rice with chicken, a garlic soy chicken with egg fried rice, and then a penny pasta with boneless fish as it was described. So my husband and I both went for the garlic soy chicken with the egg fried rice. It was okay, it was an average meal. It was, not anything wrong with it. It was just a bit sort of average. That was served with a bread roll, a brioche-style bread roll with a packet of butter, and the starter was a sort of one prawn with a tuna mayonnaise and tomato lettuce salad. That was quite nice, actually. And then for finishing, for dessert, there was a selection of fruit. So there was a piece of apple, a piece of pineapple, and a piece of kiwi. Also with drinks from the bar, so there was a bar service that comes with the meal service, so you could have alcohol with your meal, or you could also have soft drinks. So I went for a Coke Zero, and we got a bottle of water as well with the meal, so no complaints. I'm not going to say it's all singing, all dancing, incredible cuisine, but it certainly did the job.
The cabin suddenly got very cold, so I wrapped myself up in the provided complimentary blanket, and I was surprised to learn it was very, very good. Usually these blankets in economy are pretty thin, but this was quite thick and really good quality. I got an hour or so sleep before waking up with just a few hours of the flight to go. was time for a quick toilet check and they were exceptionally clean. Now, I want to point out that the floor is patterned, so don't think it's unclean, as I initially thought that too, but it is just the design. All in all, a really positive experience.
So currently strapped in because it's very rocky. So rocky in fact that captain's just asked all the crew to take their seats as well. So we're about 2 hours out of Kuala Lumpur. It's been a little bit turbulent en route, nothing too bad, but this is, a little bit more than, the usual turbulence. So we're just sitting and riding it out. But my opinions of Malaysia Airlines are the staff really are the asset here. The cabin crew on this flight have been really good, really helpful, really friendly. They've been wanting to get to know us and give us their tips and their own kind of experiences of where they've been, which is really nice, especially when you're new to a country, and Kuala Lumpur is a country that both myself and my husband have never been, so it's a new one for us, so these little tips come in handy. So yeah, it's been a nice flight so far. It's just waiting to see how long this turbulence rides out.
Aerial sleuths stand by. This island looked stunning, but it didn't appear on our map. If you know where it is, let me know in the comments below. My husband was reading and brushing up on his history, and did you know that the first in-flight meal was served in 1919 and cost just 3 shillings each, about 15 pence? How times have changed.
So with about an hour and 25 minutes to go before we touch down into KL, the crew have just come around with their final meal service, a refreshment service. That consisted of a pot of Meiji milk ice cream from Japanese brand Meiji, that was really tasty, and a vanilla lemon style Madeira muffin cake. So 2 desserts, which is unusual really when you think for a refreshment service, but both were really nice. There was no savoury items on offer, unless you fancied another bag of peanuts, which I will gladly pass on. I cannot stand bagged peanuts on flights and pretzels and those kind of snacks. I implore those airlines to find something a bit more interesting sometimes. But no, it was really nice. We had a drink of our choice from the bar, either alcoholic or non-alcoholic, so I went for an apple juice and the husband went for an orange juice, and the crew are now just following up behind with a tea and coffee service as well, so quite a nice little end to the flight. If you're thinking of flying Malaysia in economy, I'd gladly recommend them. It's a little bit of an old product when you look at the cabin. It's a bit dated. The legroom is very standard compared to, you look at my last video, the Japan Airlines video from Honolulu to Osaka. If you haven't seen that, I'll put a link up top. But I think we got well treated with that, with the legroom and the space. But it's comfortable. We've got here, we departed on time. We're looking to land on time, if not slightly ahead of schedule. And the crew have been wonderfully friendly, sharing all their tips on what to go and see, where to eat, and the things we should do whilst we're in KL, so that's been really nice.
Now let's talk Wi-Fi and the MH Connect complimentary Wi-Fi service, which is free for all passengers on this particular aircraft type and route. It worked on my laptop and phone, and there was no limitation on how many devices you could use it on, and it was fast enough to stream content on too. It was easy and quick to connect, and ran at an impressive speed of around 24 megabytes per second. A nice touch from Malaysia Airlines that this is free, and as I've said before, the airlines that don't start to offer Wi-Fi will be the ones left behind. As we began our descent into KL, the cabin crew carried out the insecticide spray process. I know it's harmless to breathe, but the smell is never pleasant. And that was pretty much it for this flight. We glided through the clouds on our final approach into Malaysia's capital, and this approach was a really scenic one.
Tuan-tuan, puan-puan dan adik-adik sekalian, selamat datang ke lapangan terbang Hamdan.
As we touch down at Kuala Lumpur International Airport, we wrap up this flight with Malaysia Airlines. I'd say the food and overall product were fairly average and a little dated, though still comfortable. But what truly stood out was the cabin crew. Their warmth and professionalism turned an otherwise ordinary journey into something memorable. It's a great reminder that while seats and screens may age, great service leaves the impression that lasts well beyond the flight. From KL International Airport, it seems somehow fitting this week to end on Marila Tabang for sama-sama. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and any airport that delivers the bags 38 seconds ahead of schedule gets my vote. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss another upload. Plenty more aviation, travel and hotel content coming your way. See you in the next one.